under the official management of 70 agencies under strict government monitoring. Foreign Affairs Advisor Mohammad Tawhid Hussain said Chief Advisor Dr. Mohammad Yunus raised the issue of ousted Sheikh Hasina's extradition during a meeting with Indian Premier Narendra Modi in Bangkok, though no final decision was reached. He said this to reporters at the Foreign Ministry today. The chief advisor recently concluded his first bilateral visit to China and subsequently attended the 6th BIMSTEC summit in Thailand, where he held his maiden bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Modi on the sidelines of the summit. The foreign advisor said both visits to China and to Thailand had by and large fulfilled Bangladesh's expectations. He emphasized that progress in Dhaka-Delhi relations requires efforts from both sides. Home Advisor Lieutenant General retired Mohammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhry has said that there is no threat to overall security on the occasion of Pohela Boishakh. He said this while talking to reporters at the Secretariat today. Cultural Affairs Advisor Mustafa Sarwar Farooqi and senior officials of the ministry were present on the occasion. Mentioning that Pohela Boishakh will be celebrated safely across the country, including Dhaka, the Home Advisor said additional security measures will be taken considering area-based risk. Referring to incidents of looting and vandalism in some places in protest against Gaza incident, he said 49 people have been arrested so far in such untoward incidents. Information and Broadcasting Advisor Mohammad Mahfuz Alam said that the government is working sincerely to transform the Bangladesh Film Development Corporation (BFDC) into a profitable organization. He made the remarks while exchanging views with officials and employees of BFDC at the Jahir Raihan VIP Production Hall following a visit to the Film Development Corporation today. Highlighting the government's commitment to capacity building, Mahfuz Alam said all necessary support will be extended to ensure that all aspects of the film production from shooting to editing can be completed at BFDC. Referring to the strategic location of BFDC in the heart of the capital, the advisor noted that the corporation holds vast potential for diverse film-related activities. Prior to the meeting, the advisor visited the under-construction complex of BFDC, including the shooting floor, editing wing, lighting department, color lab, sound wing, and the office of the Directors and Artists Association. BFDC Managing Director Masuma Rahman Tani and other officials were present during the visit. Chief Election Commissioner AMM Nasiruddin has said that the expatriates will be given the opportunity to vote on a limited-scale experimental basis in the upcoming 13th National Parliament elections. The Election Commission is consulting with the technical experts on the matter. He said this today at a workshop at the Election Training Institute in the capital's Agargaon aimed at deciding the voting method for expatriate Bangladeshis. AMM Nasiruddin said that the Election Commission is working on postal voting, online voting and proxy voting. He reiterated that the Election Commission is committed to ensuring that the expatriate Bangladeshis can vote in the next election. Regardless of the method chosen, the process will start with a pilot phase on a limited scale and later expand to a larger scale. Representatives from the various universities, UNDP, other organizations, election commissioners and EC officials attended the workshop. Earlier, Election Commissioner Abul Faisal Muhammad Sanaullah said that the Election Commission is prioritizing proxy voting for expatriates. Proxy voting allows a designated person to cast a ballot on behalf of another. Expatriates will be able to cast their votes through this system. Bangladesh Public Service Commission Chairman Professor Dr. Mobashir Monem said that each BCS exam will be completed within 1 year in the phases. He made the remarks today while speaking at the discussion held on the occasion of the 53rd founding anniversary of the Bangladesh Public Service Commission in the capital's Agargaon. The PSC chairman emphasized that merit will be the sole criterion and no form of irregularity or corruption will be tolerated. He urged everyone to work with honesty and integrity to build an anti-discriminatory Bangladesh. Bangladesh Public Service Commission Secretary Dr. Mohammad Sanwar Jahan Bhuiya chaired the discussion, while other members of the commission were also present. Marking the founding anniversary, the PSC also paid tribute by laying flowers at the Mrityunjoy Memorial in the PSC premises. Bangladesh Nationalist Party BNP Standing Committee member Salahuddin Ahmed has called on leaders of the Muslim world to take measures to stop the Israeli genocide in Gaza and Rafah immediately. He also condemned the countries that have been financing Israel and sending weapons to kill Palestinian civilians. The BNP leader said this at a protest rally on Dhaka University DU campus this afternoon. BNP student wing Jatiyotawadi Chhatra Dol JCD organized the rally in solidarity with the global protest "No Work, No School Until the Genocide Stops" at the base of Raju Memorial sculpture at DU. JCD President Muhammad Rakibul Islam Raqib presided over the rally and General Secretary Nasiruddin Nasir moderated it. BNP Student Affairs Secretary Rakibul Islam Bokul, JCD's DU Unit Presidents Ganesh Chandra Roy and General Secretary Nahiduzzaman Shipon also spoke at the demonstration, among others.
Ma, ক্ষুধা লাগছে, খাইতে দাও। টেবিলে খাবার রাখা আছে, খায় নে। মা, আমি এই খাবার খাবো না। কেন? তাইলে গন্ধ? গন্ধ হইব কেন?
কি হইছে? লক্ষ্মী মায়ের ধমকাইতেছো কেন?
লক্ষ্মী না চাই, প্রত্যেক বেলা খাবার নিয়ে ঝামেলা করে। কথাটা ঠিক না। আমি কইছি পচাবাসি খাবার আমি খাবো না। ভাইজান কি করমু কও? প্রত্যেক বেলা নতুন নতুন রান্নার সময় কই। তাই এক বেলা রান্ধি দুই বেলা খাই।
একবার রান্না করে দুই বেলা খাইতেই পারো, কিন্তু রান্না করা খাবার ভালোভাবে সংরক্ষণ করে খাইতে হইব।
সেটা আবার কেমনে?
রান্না করা খাবার স্বাভাবিক তাপমাত্রায় 2 ঘন্টার বেশি রাখা যাইব না। 2 ঘন্টার বেশি রান্না করা খাবার খাওয়ার আগে আবার ভালো কইরা গরম করে নিতে হইব।
মামা, তুমি মাইরে কও, তোমার পরামর্শ মাইনা চলতে। ঠিক আছে রে মা, আর কইতে হইব না।
পচাবাসি খাবার খেলে অসুখ হবে সবাই বলে, সুস্থ দেহ যদি চাই টাটকা খাবার সদাই খাই।
Now international news. Israeli troops flattened farmland and cleared entire residential districts in Gaza to open a kill zone around the enclave, according to a report on Monday that quoted soldiers testifying about the harsh methods used in the operation. The report from the Israeli rights group Breaking the Silence cited soldiers who served in Gaza during the creation of the buffer zone, which was extended to between 800 to 1500 meters inside the enclave by December 2024 and which has since been expanded further by Israeli troops. Israel says the buffer zone encircling Gaza is needed to prevent a repeat of the October 7, 2023 attack by thousands of Hamas-led fighters and gunmen who poured across the previous 300-meter deep buffer zone to assault a string of Israeli communities around the Gaza Strip. The attack, which killed 1,200 people and saw 251 taken hostage, was one of the worst security disasters in Israel's history. The borderline is a kill zone, a lower area, a lowland. The report quotes a captain in the armored corps as saying, "We have a commanding view of it and they do too." The Israeli military did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the report. Meanwhile, another report said at least 50 Palestinians killed by Israeli soldiers during 24 hours on Monday. French President Emmanuel Macron visited Egypt's port city of El Arish on Tuesday, a key transit point for Gaza-bound aid, to call on Israel to lift restrictions on humanitarian access to the war-battered Palestinian territory. Local media said Macron was in El Arish, 50 kilometers west of the Gaza Strip, along with his Egyptian counterpart Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Macron arrived in Cairo on Sunday, has said he would meet with sick Palestinians and medical professionals in El Arish, an outpost of humanitarian support for the civilian population of Gaza. The French leader is also expected to tour Red Crescent warehouses and meet with UN and aid representatives. In a symbolic stop on his Egypt tour, Macron will call for the reopening of the crossing points for the delivery of humanitarian goods into Gaza, a presidency statement said. Israel cut off aid to Gaza in early March during an impasse in negotiations to extend a truce with Hamas, whose October 7, 2023 attack triggered the war. Later in March, after a 2-month truce, Israel resumed intense bombardment across the Gaza Strip and restarted ground operations. In Cairo, Macron, Sisi and Jordan's King Abdullah II called for an immediate return to the ceasefire. The three leaders met on Monday to discuss the war and humanitarian efforts to alleviate the suffering of the Gaza's 2.4 million people, the vast majority of whom have been displaced at least once during the war. A global trade war touched by U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs escalated further on Monday as Trump threatened to increase duties on China and the European Union proposed counter-tariffs of its own. Financial markets across the globe posted a third day of losses as investors worried that steep trade barriers around the world's largest consumer market could lead into a recession. Trump's advisors said he would be willing to negotiate with countries that are scrambling to head off tariffs as high as 50% due to take effect on Wednesday. But the president himself ruled out discussions with Beijing as he ratcheted up a confrontation with the world's number 2 economy. Trump said he would impose an additional 50% duty on U.S. imports from China on Wednesday if it did not withdraw the 34% tariffs it had imposed on U.S. products last week. Those Chinese tariffs had come in response to 34% reciprocal duties announced by Trump. All talks with China concerning the requested meeting with U.S. will be terminated, he wrote on social media. The European Commission, meanwhile, proposed counter-tariffs of 25% on a range of U.S. goods, including soybeans, nuts and sausages, though other potential items like bourbon whiskey were left off the list, according to a document seen by Reuters. Officials said they stood ready to negotiate a 0-for-0 deal with Trump's administration. 16 people were killed during a clash between local security forces and suspected Lakurawa insurgents who had raided villages in Nigeria's northwestern state of Kebbi, police and residents said on Monday. The Islamist Lakurawa group emerged from herding communities along the Nigeria-Niger border after the July 2023 coup in Niger. Nigeria has also been grappling with a long-running insurgency in its northeast, primarily driven by the Islamist armed group Boko Haram and its offshoot, Islamic State West Africa province. Kebbi police spokesperson Nafiu Abubakar said that the attack occurred on Saturday evening when the gunmen attacked the villages of Tungan Taura and Tungan Ladan. The assailants reportedly rustled an unspecified number of cattle, and during a confrontation as they attempted to flee, 16 individuals were killed, Abu Bakr said in a statement. The police had deployed additional tactical units to track down and apprehend the perpetrators, he said. One Kebbi resident, Abu Bakr Oji, said Lakarua had raided villages in the area and stolen an unspecified number of cattle. The group opened fire at villagers who came out in large numbers to try to stop the assailants, he said. A Nigerian federal court in January declared the Lakurawa group a terrorist organization, a designation that allows the military to use maximum force against it. Russia's lower house of parliament voted Tuesday to ratify a treaty to deepen political, military and economic ties with Iran as Moscow moves closer to its key ally. Tuesday's vote comes with high tensions between Iran and the West and as Russia pushes a rapprochement with Washington despite its offensive in Ukraine. Amid deepening military cooperation over the last 3 years, Iran has been accused by Kyiv and the West of supplying weapons, including self-detonating Shahed drones to Russia for its campaign against Ukraine. In the treaty, the sides agreed to help each other counter common security threats, but it stops short of a mutual defense pact like the one signed between Russia and North Korea last year. The signing of the treaty does not mean the establishment of a military alliance with Iran or mutual military assistance, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Andrei Rudenko said in an address to the State Duma. Instead, the treaty states that if either side is subjected to aggression, the other will not provide assistance to the aggressor. The Comprehensive Strategic Partnership deal was signed by Presidents Vladimir Putin and Masoud Pezeshkian in January, with votes in Moscow's rubber stamp parliament necessary before it can come into force. Now weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said rain or thunder showers with lightning flashes and temporary gusty wind is likely to occur at few places over Rangpur, Rajshahi, Mymensingh, Dhaka, Khulna, Borishal, Chattogram and Sylhet divisions. Night and day temperature may remain nearly unchanged over the country. Country's highest temperature was recorded today at Baghabari in Sirajganj, 36.4 degrees Celsius, and capital's Dhaka's highest temperature was 35.6 degrees Celsius. Now news on sports. The BCB has announced a 15-member squad for the first test of the upcoming two-match series against Zimbabwe. Taskin Ahmed has been ruled out due to injury. Pacer Tanjim Hassan Shakib has been called up in his place. The other members of the team are Captain Najmul Hossain Shanto, Vice Captain Mehdi Hassan Miraj, Mahmudul Hassan Joy, Sadman Islam, Zakir Hassan, Mominul Haq, Mushfiqur Rahim, Mahidul Islam Bhuya Ankon, Zakir Ali Onik, Taijul Islam, Naeem Hassan, Nahid Rana, Hassan Mahmood and Syed Khalid Ahmed. The first test will start on April 20th at the Sylhet International Cricket Stadium, and the second test will start on April 28th at the Bir Shrestha Flight Lieutenant Motiur Rahman Stadium in Chittagong. The ICC Women's ODI Cricket World Cup qualifiers start with the match between hosts Pakistan and Ireland at the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore tomorrow. The match will start at 10:30 a.m. Bangladeshi Standard Time. West Indies faces Scotland in the other match on the opening day at the same time. Bangladesh will start their campaign against Thailand on Thursday, the second day of the meet. The sixth edition of the qualifiers, which will be held till April 19, will feature 4 full members of the ICC: Bangladesh, Ireland, Pakistan and the West Indies, and 2 associate members, Scotland and Thailand. The tournament will be held in a round-robin league format, while the top 2 teams of the points table qualifying for the ICC Women's ODI Cricket World to be held in India August next. Hosts India, Australia, England, New Zealand, South Africa and Sri Lanka are playing directly in the World Cup. Real Madrid will face Arsenal tonight in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League quarterfinals. The match will start at 1 a.m. Bangladeshi Standard Time at the Emirates Stadium in England. The other match of the quarterfinal tonight, Bayern Munich will face Inter Milan at 1 a.m. at the Allianz Arena in Germany. Abahani Limited has reached the final of the Federation Cup football today. In the qualifier match held in Kumilla, 10-man Abahani defeated Boshuntara Kings by 4-2 in a tiebreaker. Earlier, the match was drawn 1-1 in the scheduled time. In the 42nd minute of the match at the Bhasha Shonik Shohid Dhirendranath Datta Stadium, Abahani's defender Asaduzzaman Bablu left the field after seeing a second yellow card. Utilizing that opportunity, Boshuntara Kings took the lead in the 56th minute through a goal by Mujibur Rahman Johnny. But Abahani equalized the match 1-1 through a goal by Arman Faisal Akash in the 87th minute. The additional 30 minutes also ended by 1-1. As a result, the game went to a tiebreaker. Here, Abahani Limited won. Boshundara Kings will now have to play against Rahmatganj, who advanced to the second qualifier in their fight to reach the final. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Chief Advisor proposes to set up hotline and call center for the foreign investors. Chinese investors expresses interest to invest at special economic zones in Chattogram and Mongla. New Development Bank expresses interest to invest $100 crore in Bangladesh during the current fiscal, informs BIDA Executive Chairman. Regional connectivity, including maritime transportation of goods, to be increased among BIMSTEC member countries in the future, hopes Chief Advisor's High Representative Dr. Khalilur Rahman. Foreign investors visit special economic zones at Arai Hazar in Naranganj. Swedish company Nilorn Bangladesh signs agreement to invest there. Bangladesh signs Artemis Accord with NASA. Window opens to accelerate space research activities for Bangladesh. Chhatradol staged demonstration and rallies across the country, including Dhaka University, protesting Israeli aggression and genocide in Palestine. Israel creates a killing zone along the Gaza border. 60 more people killed in one day. More than half of Gaza under Israeli control. And Bangladesh squad for first test against Zimbabwe announced. Taskin dropped due to injury. Pacer Tanjim called in. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. And we invite you to watch our 11:30 p.m. Bangla News. Until then,